My name is Chris Claremont. You're watching Omni X-Men.
Hi, I'm Bob McLeod, and you're watching Omni X-Men.
What is up, gang? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. We're back with some more Omni X-Men. I feel like it's been a while since we had it here on this channel. We've had a couple of breaks in between, and we've been on John's channel a couple times in a row, but we're back. We're talking more Chris Claremont goodness here, Uncanny X-Men Omnibus. Technically, this is volume 5, but it's season 6 of our show since we did a little New Mutants last year. And this tonight actually happens to also be a New Mutants book. So taking a slight break from X-Men just for this particular week. But we still have a crazy roller coaster of an issue because we're breaking down New Mutants Annual issue number 2. So strap in, be ready. If you guys have not read it already, then maybe you should go read it first. Or if you just tune in, hang with us, and we'll break it down for you. But of course, it is not just me. It is also my co-host and good friend, John, from John's Comics with Kids. What's up, John?
Are you ready for some mojo, baby?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Get some mojo.
Dude, I'll tell you, Mojo is he's quickly becoming a favorite, man. Him and Spiral, like.
Well, good, because we're gonna finish out this season with the X-Men Annual that goes along here. So
Right after, yeah. I was
Be
kind of
ready with
hanging
that.
for a long shot. I was kind of like,
yeah. Well, you were saying, you were like, I need more long shot in my life. I want all the long shot. That was the emotion we all had.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably our lowest ranking. I say, hey, I still gave it a 7. Yeah,
I mean,
gave it a 7.
you had to go.
We
first.
averaged out. Yeah, we averaged out to be like a 4. Yeah. The truth is, I had to go first. I had
It
no
averaged.
confidence.
It was a rough average. It was a rough average.
Yeah.
But we're gonna continue that long shot mojo verse, baby. With this annual, and then in 3-4 weeks we're doing the other annual.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Coming up, fairly soon. Yeah, I should announce too. So we are coming to the end here of our Omni X-Men season 6. We're going to be ending. Technically, our giveaway show is June 16th. That's like,
yes.
If you're here to win some free stuff, you want to star that date on your calendar. So the Tuesday, June 16th, is our finale giveaway show. As far as breakdown issues go, we still have 3 more of those, counting this one tonight. And then we're off next week. So that's one thing I wanted to clarify.
Correct.
We're technically
and
we'll
hit you at the end with the book report. You guys got to get done before we're back on June 2nd, because there's a lot of we were talking backstage about all the reading material. It's a 3-day weekend. Everybody should be reading X Factor to celebrate Memorial Day. All the X Factor.
Great way to celebrate. That's going to be. I haven't even started yet. So for those who haven't either,
I wanted to wait. Yeah, I definitely wanted to wait. But
we said it was like 11 or 12 issues technically.
Yeah, it's officially 11 issues, but there's a couple bonus things we may just skim over. But yes, the giveaway is coming on the 16th of June, and this is the original art piece. This colored inked sketch cover by the Fraim brothers. This piece of original art on this Facsimile 101 is going to be given away. We got a ton of prizes, mystery boxes. I know that community members who had on the show are giving away. I think there was a pop statue. I think there was a variant cover that was given away.
Cover. Like a small.
I know that Stevie from Conlin, I know Manimal, were both offering pieces that they were going to give away. I've tried to keep track on my phone.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
But we tend to have a big party on that 16th, and all the way through the 16th, you can get on the giveaway wheel by answering trivia questions. We even do questions on the 16th about the previous show we always do with Sove to wrap the season.
Yes, so you still get a chance, and of course during our actual giveaway show we'll be doing some in the chat only giveaways as well. So
yes,
even if you haven't joined us all season but you want to join us now, it's certainly it's still a chance to have some fun and win something. So and shout out to the Fraim brothers. They've been our featured artists of the season, and so I put their link in the description below. Like we've been telling you, if you haven't checked them out already, make sure you do so. Go support them.
And I think they've got a new X-Men related cover that they've got on their website just recently that they finished. So if you're an X-Men fan and you're like, my odds of winning this one are low, but I want to get a piece from them, they've got them on their website, and the links are in a lot of our descriptions, or you can find them by searching the Fraim brothers.
Yep. So make sure, let's see. Oh, let me switch my background. We have another special guest tonight as usual, and I'm really excited to have him on. we were doing the math. Apparently, it's been 2 years since we had him on. I feel like he's kind of been with us since the beginning. Really,
he's one of the regulars.
Yeah. So it's nice to have him back here. We talked about that. We technically missed him for New Mutants, but it works out perfect because we're doing a New Mutants book tonight. Good friend of mine, got to hang with him in Baltimore a few years ago. Shared an Airbnb. Good dude. Our good friend JR, aka Rogue's Law. What's going on, JR?
What's up, everyone? I think the probably reason it feels like it's all the time is I'm always harassing John on Instagram, and I'm always teasing you about your Ravens trying to steal my players.
Little jabs here and there.
That's what love is. I've only got brothers. I that's the only way I know how to express love.
Well, one of these days we're gonna get Justin to show up at San Diego Comic-Con.
I'd love to come. I
can get. All you have to do is talk to me. We can work on it. I will get you in a group. We'll get you tickets.
Yeah, I hear you got to do some crazy stuff to get tickets. So.
But we'll get Nigel, the four of us together, because I still haven't met John in person either.
Yeah.
Nigel and I every year go to breakfast together, at least one day or dinner.
I feel like whenever I walk around that con, I always find Nigel. It's like it doesn't. I don't even have to know that he's there. I'll turn a corner and he's in line, and I'll be like, "What's going on, Nigel?"
That's his mutant power. Nigel. That's Nigel's mutant power.
Yeah,
that and singing really well.
He is a very good singer. Yes, we've witnessed that.
Nice to know.
Yeah.
Great hype guy. We love you, Nigel. You should definitely. I hope he's doing well. Hey, so if you guys are not following JR, make sure you do so. I put his link in the description below. JR, you've been a great community member. I love that we've always stayed in touch for a long period of time now. I've known you for a while.
Definitely.
So yeah, I know for sure we'll definitely plan something soon. I want to get to the West Coast. That's been my plan for the last couple of years now. So just need to get the details going.
We need to get more casinos out here. That's the problem. We don't have enough casinos in California.
Because every time I start to go there, I stop in Vegas and I don't go any further than Vegas. That's the problem. Right.
He thinks that's where the coastline is. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a mirage.
The water.
Give us about 50 years and that'll be the coastline.
It's good point. We got a full episode tonight, but let's say a quick hello to the chat. I see Ruben Guzman hanging out nice and early. Cowabunga, my friend. Good to see you. Johnny Boy in the chat as well. We got our man Matt H hanging out in the chat. What's going on, Matt? We have our other good friend Matt, Impress Comics, hanging out with us as well. Always a pleasure, my friend. We got my man Adam Makes Stuff Up. It really is one of my favorite names on YouTube.
It's so good.
So good. We got my man Ryan, aka Magic Lasso, saying hi to all the usual suspects: Diana Ross, Rachel Dinners. When does Diana Ross say you're watching Omni X-Men Baby Loves? Baby Loves? Did I say that right?
I don't know. He lost me in there. The punctuation lost me.
Baby Loves.
Probably be the same day that we get John to dress up as Cyclops.
That's
probably when.
Maybe never.
Nope.
Let's see. He says, what type of dumb guest would agree to go on that show with all those issues?
Yeah, because he's joking because he's got to read all those to be ready because he is our guest in 2 weeks. Yep.
He is contractually obligated to join us.
He's now an X Factor fan.
Good luck.
And he does want that Fraim bro art. So there you go. Candace in the house. What is going on, Candace? Matt says Justin runs out of money in Vegas and can't make it any further. That's exactly it. I have just enough to then get back home thanks to Lady No Good. She's the one that wins the money.
Yes,
flies me back home.
I've seen many evidence.
Yeah. We got Bobby De La Ghetto Station. Boggy. Let's see. Scrolling through. All right, everybody else is saying hello to each other. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Appreciate that. So let's get into this here a little bit because we got a full issue tonight.
A double size.
New Mutants. Yeah, double size. And hey, I mean, it's great because I have this issue. I think I have 2 or 3 copies of this issue. I think when I first got into comics and when I was kind of exploring keys, I was like, ooh, this is something I need to get or whatever. And I never read it, but I bought it and I just recognized this cover from, ever ago. So, John, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on the cover design here?
I love 2 things about it. I love the pink background. Always a big fan of pink background cover. And then I love the tilt. The tilt is what makes this cover work for me. I don't know that I understand how it really relates to the comic in any way, and I don't know that it really sells me on like, wow, I want to read this now, because I have no clue what any of the rest of this is. And that's where this cover kind of fails for me. Is it's not selling me on an idea of what's going to be inside of this book. Instead, it's just the team fighting each other, or at least it looks like Doug and Warlock are trying to slow everybody down from diving into the wild ways, which, I guess you could suppose maybe you could sell me on an abstract idea for the interior story. Yeah. But the pink background and the tilt are what I dig. I do that. There's a fun kinetic kind of energy going on to the cover because of that.
Yeah, no, well said. JR, what about you? What are your thoughts on this cover?
Well, I personally love just the fact that we got Captain Britain in there. Like,
oh yeah,
so random of a guy there. I mean, I get why he's there. Betsy's there, but he's usually not there. But I do think this is in reference because I think that's Betsy falling in the pink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but I think that's supposed to be like her mindscape. That's where, because it goes back to that.
Right.
I wouldn't, if I saw this on shelf, I wouldn't buy it. I was like, what? I mean, it's an X book. I buy every X book, but it's one of those covers. I'm just like, I'm not sure what to do with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Candace says, I think they ran out of pink in the lower left corner. Yeah, they just started to run out of ink there. I agree. I'm with you guys. I'm not necessarily crazy about it. It's pretty noisy, pretty loud. I guess this is kind of, reading this issue for the first time. This is kind of just me taking the time to now finally look closer at the details. And
sure,
it definitely does raise some questions. I mean, everybody looks creepy and like as if they are being taken over or something, or not themselves, essentially, which is very accurate. Yeah. I do like the design of Doug and Warlock, and him kind of on the shoulder there, as this is still very new, seeing them together like that. So some things that I think would intrigue me, but yeah, ultimately I'm with you. It's nothing too crazy. I will say I feel like we certainly have had worse covers this season. So this maybe falls in the middle.
We've got a new voting scale now.
Yeah. Not the worst. I actually don't see who did the cover, or I don't see a signature.
It's got to be Art Adams.
That's what I
mean, he drew the book.
No, he did. Alan Davis is
Alan Davis. Sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I don't know. But yeah, I guess that is. Yeah, not as familiar with him from that time period, but.
Let's see. It just says artist Alan Davis where I'm looking, so maybe that means that he did the cover as well.
I imagine.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because he did all like the classic X-Men and all that stuff.
Yep.
So
that says the cover doesn't say long shot on it anywhere. I think means the cover is good. Hey, come on, Matt. Some of those long shot covers were pretty cool. I think they're cool. 1 and 6 were pretty badass. How can this be New Mutants? Cannonball has his shirt on. That's a great point, Ryan. We all know that the real Cannonball never
scandalous.
On, so they got us drawn in, Ryan. Yeah, exactly. They were hooked. Not on brand at all. I agree, Candace. All right, let's jump into the opening pages here. So we do get a wicked splash page there. When I first saw that, I mean, yeah, like it's like a snowy start to everything. I'm thinking Christmas time. All right, we're getting into the groove of things. My favorite time. But no, we're in Switzerland, and we get this kind of brief monologue, and we meet Elizabeth Braddock for the first time, talking about how she was a hero, kind of thinking back to this time where she enjoyed being on a carousel. She was a kid, child's innocent, as she refers to it as. But we also learned that she is blind. She's a telepath. She doesn't need to be able to see because she can see telepathically. So it kind of is a win-win in that regard. We do learn her name. It says as Psylocke, her mutant powers are formidable. So this is where, for me, as just a fan, not knowing much about them, but just being tied into other characters that I've always known and loved, I've always kind of been confused with the word Psylocke and how it's applied to her, and yet also applied to Quanon, the other Psylocke, and all that other stuff. So maybe we can hash that out a little later. But yeah,
how long do you want this show to be?
I was saying could be a long show. But as she is, going through this, she gets attacked, and of course, it is by Mojo and Spiral, who we've just been left off with from the Long Shot series that we read. So I guess this is kind of where that's picking up. Mojo still being creepy as hell and all about himself. Spiral kind of doing the dirty work for him. Very dark vibes. I mean, some of the artwork there, like the way her eyes are so blackened out there, is really creepy. And of course, Mojo. Like I always love his design. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I've been on a huge death metal kick over the last few weeks, and like this is all just
and horror comics and
a lot of the stuff. Yeah, a lot of scariness. So, anyways, he's basically decided. Says, "Oh, we got this new toy. Let's bring her back and start doing whatever evil plan that they're getting into." So, John, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on kind of these quick opening scenes here?
I don't know that I love the first page just because there's so much information thrown at us, and considering this is Betsy's first appearance, they're acting very much like she's just always been around, and they're very casual about information in that page, and as a reader, I'm like, no, that you don't get to play casual with like continuity in this way. I feel like that. I'm glad they have it, and I do think it's not an ineffective way to give us the information. We see her doing, off time, off hours kind of stuff, but I don't like the way they sort of casually act like, no. Captain Britain's always had this sister, and she's always been kind of a superhero, and she's got this whole story. And by the way, no comment on her purple hair. What's with the purple hair? I don't understand. At least somebody tell me that her mutant power is purple hair, and I'll be like on it. Like let's go. But yeah, art style wise, I think that splash page is fantastic. It's really energetic. I do love all the like flame and stuff behind Mojo in that panel when he pops in, always with the creepy grin. It's quite wonderful. So the art stuff really got me, but the first little bit, like I was like, purple hair, I care, Ryan, I care. Purple hair, I care. But the rest of it worked for me, and I do like the concept of the character, especially here in the 80s. Once she becomes the 90s Quanon version, and then you have to like, wait, when did the British girl become Asian? Like, I don't understand all that. Because spoiler, her brother is Captain Britain.
Yeah. Two different
kind of something to navigate there. What's wrong? Nothing is wrong with purple hair, Candace. I just want an explanation for it. In the 80s, that was more common with like your grandmother than it was, say, a superhero.
That's
so
true.
I want some explanation.
Mousy blue hair.
Yeah, Candace, call him out. Call him out, Candace. Bobby says, yes, very true. If Betsy Braddock married General Ross, she'd be Betsy Ross. Yes, agreed. Or Diana Ross. Yes, also valid. Hey, some girls rock the purple hair. Absolutely. Yeah, don't hate it. Ravens, baby. That's how I looked at it. JR, what about you, my friend? What did you think of these first couple of pages here?
So first off, one thing I knew coming into this is her first American appearance. So she was actually in Captain Britain number 8 in the UK.
Oh, okay. I've seen that before. Okay, yeah.
So that's there. I guess they're assuming we read that. I haven't read it, but
okay.
But it's either 8 or 6, something like that in the UK.
Yeah. Okay.
So because they even mentioned like she was Captain Britain, and I was like, I don't remember her ever being Captain. Recent times, yes. But
it was in issue 12 of that British volume.
There you go. Yeah.
And on the cover of issue 13.
Yeah.
Have you ever read that? Or has anybody ever read that?
No.
I haven't. I've got number 1 of first Captain Britain. I want to get hers, but I just haven't got the money.
And those are expensive books, man. They're not.
I was going to say,
cheap.
I do think they're money, right? Okay.
Yeah. They're money. I will say just one little thing. I remember back in the 90s when I bought this at first. I remember I was all about the Psylocke, the ninja one. I went and found this because it's first Psylocke. I opened this up and the first page, I'm like, what the bleep is this?
Yeah.
Like, who is this chick?
What a letdown, huh?
Yeah. I love Betsy. She's great. But as far as this art, I do like the art. It is creepy, kind of especially that on the third page when Mojo shows up, that top panel where she's just on the ground. She looks like a rag doll. And just, it's that unnerving creepiness.
Dude, so creepy. Yeah. Sign me up for that. I'm with you.
And I do like Mojo, but I wish he wouldn't have stole my look. Like, dude, like,
dude, I'm loving Mojo. I really am. Matt says, "Is that Psylocke? I thought that lower left corner was the love child of James Brown and Mozart." I mean, I see the hair, especially from far away. I see the Mozart hair now. Now I can't unsee that.
And they do. Someone makes a reference asking her about her hair later on, John.
Oh yeah.
Someone asked that? Did I read this too quickly?
Someone asked her, "Is that part of your mutant powers?"
Oh,
in this issue.
You didn't pick this up by your third read, John? What the heck?
You know what's funny is I finally got a copy of this in 2026. I did not own a copy of this book until very recently.
Oh, okay.
So never actually read it before this round.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Okay. All right. All right, cool. Let's keep it going here. Yeah, so then we kind of flash over. This is technically now last month, as we're at Professor Xavier's School of Gifted Youngsters, and you get some angry sketching kind of going on from Doug there. He's drawing his buddy Warlock. Why do we do these things we do? Big fat hairy deal. Secret home of the New Mutants is what he's kind of correcting it as, and he crumples it up, kind of throws it and throwing a little bit of a fit, and
he even crosses out Charles's name at the top.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
screw you, Chuck. You run off to space with your space girlfriend.
Feeling some kind of way. Yeah. So I love these scenes here because you get Danny's checking in on Doug, and Doug is basically expressing himself as far as like how he's having a really hard time not being able to tell his friends, family about his mutant abilities, because he knows right now this is really a dangerous time to be, putting that out in public. And that's kind of been the rule for anyone that goes to Xavier School is, hey, like, we don't give away our identity in that regard. We kind of keep that stuff private. That's why we wear the suits and, all this other stuff. But as we've seen all of the X-Men and New Mutants kind of go through something like this of just kind of struggling, not having the understanding of why, what do I do? And I don't fit in, and, I'm not fitting in with the folks at school and all these other things. So he's kind of expressing himself, and Danny's, she's definitely, she's the leader now of the New Mutants. And I think she does that really well, even here, to just kind of give advice to Doug, saying, hey, look, we all went through it. And you just gotta think of what's important to you, and knowing what we're all here for, what we're here to do. So and of course you get some really, I think some really gorgeous like close-up face designs of both characters. JR, I'll throw this to you. As we kind of get this first introduction of seeing how Doug really feels about things, what'd you think of this?
I'll be honest, this reminds me of why I don't like Doug. Back in there, because he's just he's always in his head too much, and he kind of like what John talks about with Cyclops. He's all whiny sometimes. I feel Doug's that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did find really weird is that panel with Danny where she's got her ears like this and her hair. It looks like she's like in like air is coming up underneath her and her hair is blowing out. I'm like, that doesn't work with the rest of the panels of her hair. It like threw me off. It's like, are you kind of seducing him now? Like, what's going on here?
That's fair.
But no, I get why he's whining about the fact he has to live a double life, especially when he has such a mundane power at that point. Like, he's not flashy. He can walk around, be normal,
right? But
he just still comes kind of whiny.
Yeah, I think that's like a part of it though. Like, he just sees everybody else doing these like what seems to be cool things, like flying or throwing bolts out their hands, all this crazy stuff, magma and all that stuff. But I don't know. I feel like if I was him, I would kind of feel in the same boat, and yeah, it may come off a little whiny, I guess, in a way. But I kind of feel for him. But hey, we do later see some of his abilities kind of come in handy. So fair said. John, what about you? What were your thoughts here with seeing him like this?
We always say the downtime mutant scenes are always some of our faves, and that is true for me here. I love seeing these two. The conversation is really strong. The dialogue is really strong. I love Doug. Doug is one of my favorite characters in the New Mutants team. I just find his powers to be so he's stuck being a book nerd, but he's got the heart of a lion, and he wants to be on the front lines. He wants to fight. He has the courage. He just knows a sentinel would squash him, and he has no opportunity to stand up. So he's full of all these doubts and demons and things, and yet consistently he shows up and brings something to the table that nobody else can do. So, this is a very cute moment, and I think, awkward teenager, he's like, wow, she's hot. Like, he's thinking like, how do I make this work? Like, but at the same time, she's like, no, I'm the leader. Let me give you good advice. And, so there's this fun, like, teenage awkwardness between them that I think is kind of fun, and it works really well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Bobby says her hair is being blown by unseen wind.
I mean, I know they were artistically what they were trying to do. She's taking her hair out of a ponytail and kind of like doing that toss and letting it down. But it is a strange. It does look like there's like a wind machine off stage somewhere blasting her.
Like warlocks on the ground, like doing a little wind.
I do find it weird that she's wearing. Well, I guess not weird, but it's just she's wearing a shirt that just says Xavier on the front. It is, I guess, a little. It's just odd.
It's a gym shirt.
It is, but it could
they've got their own merch
else.
store.
Why?
He puts X's on everything.
Yeah. Let's see. Candace, good point. I'm sure Tony would agree that Doug is whiny. Yeah, he definitely had expressed himself last time. We got our guy Roy Kirk in the house. What is going on, Roy Kirk? He goes, I didn't do my homework. I thought we were off this week. That's all good, man. So that's why we're here. We're here to do the homework with you. Oh, that's what she's doing. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's keep it going here. Hey, let's turn on the television here and check out last week's episode of Megan, that Psylocke character is Betsy. New animation television series. It makes its debut.
It's just called Wild Ways, isn't it? Is that what they call it?
Wild Ways. Yeah, Wild Ways. Yep. And you get these crazy animated kind of cartoons in the centerpiece here, and everybody's tuned in and hooked up as they're watching, and they all think it's so beautiful and looks stunning. It says, hey Bobby, I thought Magnum PI was your favorite show, and they're all turning this on instead. It says, not anymore, Sam, the poor boy is hooked. And then you even get Karma's brother and sister. So you get that, and then we turn over to where are we at? It says last night. So we jump forward a little further, or more recent. Last night in the lower side of Manhattan, and we see Captain Britain running through, bashing through this doorway, threatening whoever it is that he's tracking down. Doesn't say who yet, but says if I meet your kidnappers, if they've done any harm to you, then they wish never been born. He breaks through all these walls, constantly breaking through walls. There's like 4 panels of him breaking through walls. And it, on the side, it says he is a hero possessed of power sufficient to literally move mountains. However, it will not save him. And you just hear the word Brian being called. How dare you make such a mess? And all these other phrases that sound like it's a parent, essentially. And he gets scared. He's got that bay on the far side, just that zoomed in, terrified face as if being yelled at by his parents, and immediately kind of shrinks down, and all that power and toughness immediately goes away into blackness. And he just says, okay, mommy, daddy, I'll be a good boy. Clearly some mind games going on here. John, any thoughts with this television introduction or this random introduction of Mr. Brian Braddock?
I A+ artwork for me. I love this first page where like it's the TV and yet the light of the TV coming out, and everybody's done in the same sort of monochromatic kind of style. And then the animation in the middle has this kind of fun anime look to it. It's very childlike and playful. And then you cut to the far more detailed classic comic book, like, Captain Britain comes in, and he's all shredded and he's all posed, and there's all the like details of the door getting shattered around him, and then that close up of his face when it's just horror filled.
Yes,
so much real dynamic energy to these pages. So love all the artwork here. I was also taken with the mean, maybe it's just having teenagers. I was taken with this idea of like, this is stuff's going to rot your brain. The screens, too much screen time. Why are we watching TV? You know, and then it's all the stuff we're talking nowadays with kids on iPads and phones and stuff. But here it is, like Mojo taking advantage of a screen to basically warp the minds of impressionable kiddos. Like it was kind of like, oh wow, I guess this has always been a thing.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah. We got bearded dad guy in the house, my man Connor. What's going on, Connor? Bobby saying that he's he digs the artwork from Alan Davis. Yeah, I gotta look up some more Alan Davis stuff because there definitely is some strong stuff that we've seen in here. JR, what are your thoughts? Anything you want to add to what John mentioned?
Well, I mean, to me, Alan Davis drawing Captain Britain is iconic, and I want to say I believe he also did a lot of the early Excalibur stuff. When Captain Britain was on the team.
I feel like that's correct.
I feel like I've seen that name from that. Yeah,
all of that stuff he did, which is great. I love the artwork of the TV, by the way. Just the inside the TV, it reminds me of like the 80s cartoon. I mean, I know it's an 80s cartoon, but like Rainbow Bright meets G.I. Joe, kind of, because Mojo's got like Duke's haircut, kind of from G.I. Joe. Yeah. And I love the little nod. You got Shane in the background. You got some of the other characters that may not necessarily be in this issue, but are kind of in the background of the stuff. I don't remember Brian having such mommy and daddy issues at this point when I started reading this. I mean, it makes sense as we go through, but I don't remember him having like, where that was a weakness for him.
Right.
But I mean, the art's iconic. I love it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you there for sure. I'm definitely enjoying that. Well, let's keep it going. So we flash over to last night now, going back an hour's drive north of the derelict school. We have Bobby who's answering the phone, and he picks up, says, "Hello, do you want to walk the wild ways?" And he's immediately hooked and intrigued. He says, "Yes, oh please, yes." "Well then, youngster, what are you waiting for?" And you see Mojo and Spiral just appear there. And I will say, I feel like some of the art, like I almost questioned, like, was there another artist that stepped in here for certain pages? Because I felt like there were times I liked all of it, but this like particular, seeing the way that Mojo was drawn here, I don't know, maybe it's just the distance or whatever, but I just felt like it was a different artist, almost like a Bill Sienkiewicz style, a little more than anything else. But yeah, so then you just see the sparkles and magic as Bobby disappears, and then we flash over to the danger room as the rest of the squad's doing their thing. I love this is probably one of my favorite parts, is just seeing Sam Cannonball doing his turns and trying to make the turns that we know he used to struggle with when he first started, and he's actually struggling here again. And there's a lot of reference to what they had kind of dealt with or went through from the what do you call it,
Beyonder.
Yeah, the Beyonder stuff.
Secret Wars 2,
rearing
its ugly head again.
So, but yeah, so you do see Danny trying to coach him there as he struggles with that. And then meanwhile, you have Ileana in the kitchen as she's left to, essentially clean up, and she's not too happy about it. But she's like, you know what? Why am I going to do this cleaning when I can just send it to Limbo, have my guys do it, and then just bring it back all clean when it's done? I love the thinking. I love the thought process there. I would have done the same thing. However, the guys, they got some jokes. They were able to set up this Rachel dinners, as you can see in red, and all the skulls and goblets and everything else. Thought that was really clever and funny. And of course, she's like, I need to go talk to those guys. So
Sim,
she kind of,
man, you can't let Sim
run
the.
I thought it was such a creative way
Limbo
to bring him in. Yeah. And then you get Mara, who I guess we'll talk a little bit more about that, but she's like in the window, kind of writing to her back home, basically. And that kind of leads into the next page. But let's stay here for a second. JR, what'd you think as we start to see what seems to be the kids being captured, right? Or at least Bobby being captured,
Which I don't remember Bobby being such a dumbass. Like I get picking up the phone, but like someone's like, "You want to walk on the wild side?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's go for it."
But I think he's like hypnotized at that point. That's what I got. Look at his eyes. Look at his face. Look at his face.
No, I mean he looks like a Joker there. Yes, I get it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, I get it. it just seems kind of weird. I don't remember Mojo ever having like a hypno power over the phone.
Yeah,
and all the
I
time
think it's Spiral.
him,
I think that's more Spiral.
I don't remember Spiral having that either. Though
I took it as like through the television, they were all like they got this like hypnotic suggestion, and that now they're executing the plan. But I will agree completely that it is not explained or laid out very well.
Yeah, you just gotta assume it, I guess.
Yeah.
I like the cannonball scene. I completely erased Secret Wars 2 from my memory.
Yeah.
Not out of any disrespect. It's just been a long time since I've read it. I mean, I remember the white disco suit. Love the white disco suit. But I don't remember much else of Secret Wars 2.
Yeah.
Now, the Ileana page, I loved. I thought that was great. I fully expect if I ever go to Justin's house, that's what his dinner his place settings are going to be.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I love Ileana at this point. I mean, she's one of my favorite mutants of all time.
Same.
But I especially love her during this time when she's just coming back from limbo. She's not completely like normal, I guess, or you know what I mean? For a while there, she tried to be normal. Here she's trying to get used to things.
Yeah.
And I just love the whole idea of, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm a grown man. I don't want to do that. I don't think either one of you guys want to play. If I could go like this and ship it off to Limbo and have it come back, I would try.
Oh, yeah. Right. I'd be using Limbo all the time.
Yeah.
I'd be using Limbo to have them do my homework in high school. Like, I'd be like, just help me out here.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. Bobby does ask too. He says, just goes with him. What the heck? Yeah. Come on, Bobby. Come on, Bobby Drake. Take a walk on the wild side. Yeah, definitely that. Justice for Secret Wars 2.
Nope.
No.
Stop it, Jackson.
No.
Nobody wants that.
Snow White has animals do chores for her, and she has her limbo demons. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. I want limbo demons. That's what I want. Yeah, I'm with you. Definitely hypnotized. John, anything to add there?
No, I mean, I think JR mentioned it perfectly. I do love the concept of that page with magic. It's delightful. I mean, if you're a teenager and you have these powers, of course you're going to abuse them. Of course you're going to make odd and unusual and sometimes bad choices. And I love that this is how it comes back. It's almost like it brings its own red light with it too. When it comes back, everything in the room becomes red. It's almost like it changes the lighting in the house. I think it's pretty phenomenal. So the whole thing, really, really clever and funny. And then, the Danger Room training, very enjoyable. And my complaint's the same as JR's. There are definitely a bunch of pages with the similar, like, maybe we're under explaining what Mojo is doing and how Mojo is doing it. So we're just kind of like along for the Wild Ways ride,
Yeah, fair. Well, let's keep it going because as I was mentioning, Amara kind of writing back to Lucius back home, kind of giving an update there. They get the rest of the guys who are going out to clear some dead trees, as Doug says, along with Warlock and Bobby. This was a bit of an odd scene, I felt. I mean, I didn't know what to expect here, right? All we know is that Bobby was brought into this light. Mojo showed up, and then he poofed, gone. But now we get Bobby back here hanging out with Doug and Warlock. So they're going out to the woods to literally clear dead trees. I didn't know that was a hobby. I didn't know that was a thing, but that's what they're doing. It
probably
is cool.
More trees that Cyclops knocked down because he got upset, just blasted stuff.
Yeah, just uncontrollably. I do like that we already get the cool suit from Warlock there. We've seen them kind of team
the
up
mech
a few
suit,
times here. So that was creative. Yeah. And then right as that's all going down, he mentions like, Bobby doesn't seem like himself. Warlock's like, he might be. I don't know if he's sick. I don't know. I can't read him. And he's like, hey, Bobby, heads up. I'm going to throw you these trees. Be ready. And he throws it to him. And next thing you know, Bobby like lands in him. Like he is like in the tree. I actually laughed when I saw Bobby laying the way he was. It just was like this rag doll. And of course, I'm expecting Bobby. So it's just like, what is going on? And poor Doug is like, this is like life changing for him. He literally thinks at this point he's killed one of his best, one of his friends.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like very disturbing. I mean, I guess even to see him like that and to not know what's going on, all the friends coming over to check it out, it is pretty disturbing. And then this final page here is the team just kind of talking it out, and Doug is just so zoned out. He's just like, I killed him. It's my fault. Like he's like staring out, and like obviously the tone, everything. We go from these bright green trees and outdoors to this dark gloom, dark purples and pinks. While obviously things are really set back here. So just a set of scenes I wasn't really expecting. But John, anything that you want to throw in here on these scenes?
I love the way Alan Davis does faces. I think they're really strong, and there's a bunch of really great ones scattered through these pages. But even that like far top panel where you've got everybody kind of sitting and standing around talking, you have these kind of great profiles and side views and shadowed faces. There's a lot of really good emotion in the posture of the characters, so that it makes it so these sequences that are maybe less action packed still have this real drama to them. And I think it's definitely where I think Alan Davis has always shined for me. When I see his work, I feel like he just has a great way of capturing emotion on the faces of the characters. This is again a sequence that suffers from, I don't know that I understand what's going on. I don't understand why Bobby is alive and then he's dead, and then in a little bit he's going to be alive again. And I don't know that there's a great job happening as far as explaining what Mojo's doing, how he's doing it, and how it's playing out for the characters. So it just creates more like, just go for it. It's kind of like being stuck in Murder World with Arcade. You're just like, that wall is rubber. Just it's a rubber wall.
You just gotta go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I felt about the dead trees. I'm like, why are the kids doing this for?
Fair.
Like, why are they? JR, what about you? Yeah, any thoughts here to add?
So first of all, I mean, we all know it's just a plot device. They're just trying to do something to kill Bobby, to expose it, I guess.
Sure.
But one thing that also kind of threw me up, and this is just because I haven't read this in a long time, I for some reason thought this was the issue that Doug died at the end.
Oh, spoiler.
And
and
so when
he's in John Hickman's story, so he's still
when Danny was talking about her being like having to deal with the fact that she's a Valkyrie, and seeing the deaths thing and everything.
Oh yeah,
and
that's a good point. Yeah,
she brings that up here, that like because he's going like I hate this. I mean, it sounds horrible, but I kind of saw him going like, bitch, why didn't you see him with the death thing? Like, he's so pissed at her. Like, how do you not see this? And she's going, well, sometimes it doesn't. Like, I don't know. Like, and I mean, and I kept waiting for her to go, I see it in you. And obviously, spoilers, he doesn't die at the end of this issue. My bad. Sorry. But
you're like, where's the rest of this issue?
But they kept bringing up her being a Valkyrie and the death thing, and I'm just like, it's weird why you keep bringing that up and you don't do it.
No, it's a good point. It's actually still pretty fresh from what we had read the last few issues from our New Mutants season from last year, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I meant to highlight that bit, because they do go back and forth a little bit about that, and him being angry about that. But yeah, like right now, Danny is also very much she's taken on some other responsibilities and some other abilities that she's already still from the Demon Bear stuff, still figuring out how things work. Yeah, let alone now these other new abilities and everything else. So it's a lot even on her, and then Doug, of course, just not knowing and being like, why didn't you do your thing and just tell me? Like it's not that easy, not for her at least. So she, even though she's a leader, she's still struggling with a lot of stuff too, which I appreciate. Seeing that kind of reminds you they are still kids. Let's see, Kentonese Comic Kid, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. And I saw, let me see, Sheena was in the house. Where is she? Melanin and Manga, what is going on, Sheena? Thanks for swinging by. Did I miss anybody else there? Nope. So let's keep this going here then. Afterwards we do get a visit to what, again, the infirmary. Bobby is where Bobby is, and that's where Doug's going to visit him, basically. Again, very dark, right? He goes into this the ice box essentially to go apologize because he's so torn by this. And as he's doing it, Warlock pops out, which that would scare the crap out of me if I was in this moment right here with what I think to be a dead friend of mine, and then Warlock coming out looking the way he does. Like, I just
screw yourself.
Yeah. But he's like, hey, basically he says, hey, something's up here. This is not our friend. There's something else going on. This is not the Bobby that we know and love. What does he measure by again? It's the life or the light. What does he call it? I don't see it here now. The life glow or something like that. He talks about is not correct here. Yeah, life glow. So they basically play detective, and this is where we see them recombine again, which I'm all for. I love seeing these moments again. Kind of ties into the accuracy of the cover and so on and so forth. And they start to do their own research. So I guess a little time has passed in this middle page here, and sure enough, they find out it's a fake. It's an android, which makes sense since we just came off of Longshot, which we learned all about how Mojo's creating all these androids and these lookalikes and all this other stuff. So now it like clicked. So I agree, John. At first, it was a little, you see this random Bobby in a tree and how to get there. It looks weird. But like 2 pages later is where I feel like, to me at least, it cleared up a bit more. To be like, oh, okay, yeah, like I forgot, the long shot stuff. Technically, yeah, Mojo made all these weird robots. So okay, I was kind of sold, in that as we were going forward. But then we get this really creepy page, and again, just going back to some of the wicked stuff I've been into lately. I love this scene here. The whole total horror vibes. Mojo is giving Betsy new eyeballs because, as we've witnessed from the beginning, she was blind and really looked like they had no eye. She had no eyeballs. I mean, there was nothing there. It was so, I don't know if that was just from the shadows or how they made it. Yeah, it just looked like sockets. So he's giving her new eyeballs, having them automatically pried open, very similar to his face, his design. And then, of course, he's just like, starting to talk to Spiral and saying, "Oh, just as you were a dancer when I made you what you are." And he's so like in demand and the boss, right? And she's very much has her own agenda this whole time. She's like, "Listen, I was somebody else before you came along, and I will be something way different after you're gone." Kind of mindset. She goes, "When I dance," she says, "when I dance you off your throne and make it mine." So clearly, she's got her own plan. And then she says something here about just, do you intend to stand here and watch until they rot? Because they're not doing anything. They're your precious toys. And he says, rot. And you just get this really cool, again, this could be a heavy metal album cover, of these two just being quickly rotted. His powers to me are I'm so intrigued again, like with what he can do. What is Mojo, his abilities, and how did he do that to Spiral like instantly and then lets her go? Like she is the slave and she's shocked. You can see it on her face as he lets go. And puts her down. Like her eyes are like blown away, and that creepy smile that Betsy has, and that last page, if you guys have it in front of you, that little corner bit, you just see the kind of blackened eyes and a creepy smile, like the movie Smile, if anybody's seen that.
Yep.
But that was kind of all that goodness. JR, anything you want to talk about here?
So first off, you got to remember we're dealing with Chris Claremont. He always has dangling threads. He still has dangling threads to this day. So it doesn't surprise me that some stuff we don't get all the time. As far as Mojo, I don't even know what his powers are. Like I've read every issue with him, but other than being crazy, he doesn't seem to have powers.
He's like
I don't know what his powers.
He's like the Joker.
He's like a fat Joker, like with spider legs.
Right.
But
no spine. No spine.
I do love the fact of like the middle page where they decide, okay, we're going to be a coroner and start like basically dissecting their buddy, which I wish they kind of went into more of that because it'd be very emotionally hard to do, especially when 5 minutes ago, Doug is going like, dude, why'd you let him die?
That's a great point.
And they're all upset. I kind of wish they went more into that, but
agreed.
In general, I love the end page, like you're saying. I mean, it reminded me of what's that British band with Eddie as the 80s hair band?
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. There you go.
That British band. Come on.
Yeah.
Biggest metal band of all time, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know about that. Not my metal.
Maybe. John, anything to add there?
I mean, yeah, artistically, some very cool stuff happening here. I love the odd warlock drawings. The way those come across are really kind of fun. And of course, yeah, when he joins with Doug regularly, I think you get a real new dynamic that comes out of it. I will say Mojo kind of has two power sets. Obviously, he has some sort of mystical energy powers that he does utilize like he's using here, but also like he has a ton of technology, and his chair and his gear, he has all of these tools that he uses that are from technology, and that's a big element of his story, his character, his abilities. So utilizing the TV or the phone or that weird scorpion spider chair thing he's got, it's always coming into play with new gadgets being added into those pieces. So yeah, seeing him torture the characters and then change his mind like he always does, and a lot of times as we get more into Mojoverse, understanding how it connects to media, and he gets power from his ratings and his fans, and it's driving him to be this monster mogul kind of character for sure.
Yep. We got our man Rod the Rican in the house. What is going on, Rod? He says, hit that like and sub. Appreciate you, brother. I'm definitely I'm with you here. I mean, I'm very intrigued and want to just keep knowing and reading more on Mojo even after this issue. But let's keep this going. So as Mojo had appeared, he basically now at that point, after kind of demonstrating his powers, he's now kind of revealing the ultimate plan of what he's doing here. So he's got all the kids, everyone that we saw in that TV page, splash page with everybody tuning in. They've now captured at this point, even the three kids, the one with the alfalfa hair, Butch, Darla, and Alfie. It is Alfie. Sorry. Butch, Darla, and Alfie. The Brat Pack, and some of the twins, Karma's twin, the brother and sister twins, and then the rest of them there, and then the twins, as it looks like the power that's being used is from Betsy. She's the one that's kind of controlling them using her abilities, and she even turns the twins into what is now known as Template.
Tempest. It's template. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Template.
Yeah. So, and it's like them to basically create these templates of people. It says to steal my pet's soul as you did yours and set them happily riding the carousel within your mind. So she's got this, as we saw in the beginning, she's got this, he's playing into this carousel that she was like thinking about when he met her basically. And he's using that in a way, in a kind of wicked way to work alongside and go along with his plans, where he's basically making them all adults. And then he's gonna capture all of them, use them to capture the others, and then bring them all back to his Wild Ways place that he lives at. Meanwhile, you get the rest of the team who now are caught up quickly thanks to Doug and Warlock, and they use the the portable Cerebro that they have, and Warlock scans to kind of locate where the real Bobby is. And when they arrive, they run into this older Butch, or is it? It's Butch, who he says, "I'm Butch, but that you can call me Snitch." And I don't understand exactly. I didn't quite. Again, this is going to your guys' points. If there are a lot of things that are definitely like not explained here, they out of nowhere the New Mutants start arguing with each other and start fighting, and you get Cannonball, who like steps in the way of Danny and says, "I'm the one who should be talking right now." And Snitch, this blonde dude, is just like loving it. A lot of blondes, by the way, John, as we've seen. That continues for sure. And then Magma steps in for a minute, and he grabs Magma's hand and tries to throw it. And he says, "True friends, true love. When Snitch is around, all those good things get torn to pieces." So I'm just assuming that whatever this kid Snitch, who's an adult in this form, but he's really Butch, this is all the doings of Betsy and just her abilities and powers and what she can do telepathically to make everybody go up against each other. And then you get Wolfsbane, who jumps in here, who's like, again, older. They're like kind of confused. They're like, wait, it's her, but it's an adult. Who is this? What do we believe in? So a lot more as this kind of goes into this. But John, what are your thoughts here on some of this?
I think this is these sections are where it gets a little muddled for me as far as like the explanation of what's going on, because you took it as Psylocke is changing them. I never realized that was a power Psylocke had. I assumed Mojo had given her advanced skills with those eyes he gave her to amplify skills that she already had and then give her other things to. So she's basically aging up all these characters. So they're maturing, and then some of them are getting new abilities or amplified abilities. So there's a lot going on here that's just kind of like, it's comics, just go with it kind of a thing. And for some of it, I feel like it's not given enough to make me understand why they're all bickering. I'm assuming Snitch is doing something, that his ability is like empath, where he's basically like stirring emotional discord among characters. But you could explain that. Like, why not explain that, I guess, is my thing. Like, why not have, instead of some of these word bubbles, why not a thought bubble where he says like, oh, my ability to make them emotionally unstable is working. Just give me something instead of his weird, like, I'm doing my nails like bit. Like, I feel like you could have done an explanation bit, and it would have made the drama between the New Mutants more effective for me if I could understand kind of what's going down, or Mojo explaining like, oh, perfect, the eyeballs I gave Psylocke are working perfectly. Now she can alter the abilities of these characters. And then I'm like, I'm in, like, sign me up. Artistically, I love that panel where there's like the slamming of the ground and the like earthquake sequence happening. I think it's Magma doing that. Or that's Sunspot doing that. Really great. When he bashes the ground.
That's a cool way to see Sunspot. We haven't really seen different styles of drawings with him lit up like that.
I love it. And again, the facial expressions are very strong all the way through.
Yeah, think about how Bob McLeod drew him back when we were first reading New Mutants. You know, like the kind of lack thereof detail.
Yeah, all the negative space, right?
Yeah, here you're seeing a lot more body shape in a lot of that stuff, and nothing against McLeod. We love McLeod, but just different. And JR, before I throw it to you, let me go into this next set of panels, because this all kind of is one scene here. So as they are fighting with each other, I wanted to highlight this first little bit here. You see Sam shove Warlock, says pile on top, and the name calling here says Warlock wrap her up type. Magma says savages. Danny says sorceress sleaze bucket, and then Ileana says barbarian cow, and they are just going at it. And then you get some cool lit up stuff, and then you get courtesy of Jubilee. This threw me off completely, because I'm like, first appearance of Jubilee. Okay, that doesn't. That looks like that doesn't look like Jubilee, but maybe this is like how JR was picturing the other. This is different. This is all different. So I was just going with it. But a lot of what looked to be sparkles. I mean, definitely.
But they dress her like vibes. Dazzler is the problem with Jubilee.
That's what really
Jubilee. They even give her the little like blue eye things that Dazzler has at different points.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Well, it's still close to 70s. So.
Yeah, true. So they have all this stuff going on. The only two that are kind of aware of things right now, it seems to be, are Doug and Warlock. And so finally it all gets broken up by the twins, the template. He says, we are template. You shall do as we say, like the good little boys and girls that you are. And like half of them say yes, but then Warlock's like, alarm, danger. He says, don't talk stupid, Warlock. We have to obey our parents. And immediately, thank God that Warlock was like the only one really to not fall for this stuff. He snaps Doug or grabs Doug and flies away to kind of snap him out of this before, while the rest of them basically seem very brainwashed, as we were just talking about. So they get marching back inside the way they get talked to. Magma kind of stands her ground a little bit. She's like, hang on, like, I'm not, this is not right. Something's wrong here. You're not my parents. And they basically just tell her how naughty of a girl she is. And they turn her into a child. Now, we've seen this before. We've talked about this before with Magneto. That got a little crazy, but here we are again. We get Magma this time getting turned into a little girl as she gets walked into this building. Meanwhile, you have Warlock, who eventually, wakes up Doug, but then he starts thinking about how he says in Warlock's world, children prove their right to exist by killing their parents. Gross. Or the parents kill them. And he starts like basically having terrible flashbacks and drops Doug for a second. And Doug just yells, Mom, Dad, I love you. He's like, this is it. And then he gets saved like last minute. And Warlock flies in like a bat kind of. pulls him over to the side, and they kind of snap out of it at this point, realizing that what they need to do now out of all the confusion that was happening. So, JR, I'm going to throw it to you, and I can go back to the other panels if you want. If you were something.
So going back to the other panel,
yeah,
I went and looked on Marvel.com. Snitch's powers. This is what it says off of Marvel.com, and I think his only appearances in this book.
Oh wow! Okay.
Is that he exudes an aura capable of making people around him fight with each other.
Okay.
Now, I kind of got the impression that basically Mojo aged up everyone and then used Psylocke to make them kind of think that they're aged up and like
for their mutant powers
and get them to. Well, I think he triggered their mutant powers, but she made it so they can use them. Because you got to think about it. Just because you get mutant powers doesn't necessarily mean you know how to use it.
Yeah, you don't know how to control it or anything. Yeah.
And so I took the breadcrumbs and kind of just imply that that's what he's using her as.
Okay.
In that sense.
Does it explain why he dresses up like an 80s Captain America gone to the disco?
You mean like a 70s Captain America going disco?
Or even. Yeah,
with the bug eye sunglasses.
I think they missed out on that look for Captain America is what I'm saying.
I could do this all day.
I mean, let's be real. Those glasses look like Wonder Woman's like bra.
They do indeed.
They do.
Which now I appreciate the costume.
Now going to the next page, and I just gotta say it for Magic Lasso, Dazzler. That whole thing, like it threw me off the Jubilee thing too. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about, Jubilee?
Yeah, I'm like, that whole thing. First true appearance.
And then doing like Jubilee's powers in there, like that whole threw it off. But again, going to the last panel just so we can keep going. Again, why I kept thinking Doug died at the end of this issue. He almost gets dropped here. He's going, Mom, Dad.
So you're
sorry, like
you're expecting it to happen splatter.
I just go like, come on, where is it?
You're on the edge of your seat waiting for Doug to die. You're just at the joyful anticipation.
You're like, I know it's coming.
And I'm unapologetic Dazzler lover. So Magic Lasso, I've got your back. I don't care what John says.
Yeah, there you go.
I love my disco diva.
All right, so let's keep it going here. So we have now the gang is using their, what do they call it? The as it said here. Oh, the spy eye, as he's going to, and you see this television. This is so cool. Warlock could really be anything, you know. So he's basically showing, based on this spy eye ability, that he's sending himself through to spy on them, and gets more of the lowdown of what exactly is happening. And as they see now, the rest of the New Mutants all get turned to adults, which Doug is kind of like, well, I mean, he's like, they're shocked. He's like, they're so beautiful, like Michelangelo statues come to life, but still, we screw up Warlock. They get a hold of us, and we'll be just like them. So he knows it's like dangerous, not good. And he says, this is the way. I will say, I personally do struggle a little bit with kind of, at least the first time through reading Warlock's stuff, because of just how alien he speaks. And I get it's the character, and I try to go with it, but man, some of the words there's just a long word after a long word in my mind. It's just not there, especially when I'm reading it like late at night. I'm like already tired. So this is definitely daytime reading for me when it comes to Warlock. But I do hard. Yes, it is. So then they discover, that there's this other mutant still that's around, or character, I should say. I guess they don't clarify that he's a mutant. But it turns out to be Brian, who is shrunk to being a kid as well. He's not the size that he was when we first saw him. The last time we saw him, he kind of faded black, and he was shrunk down to just being a little kid. So he basically fights back. He gives a good fight to Doug there. Doug, looks like he hurt his shoulder there, and then a few minutes later, everyone kind of calms down, and Warlock and all them would kind of communicate and explain. And Brian's like, "Hey, this is who I am. This is he basically reveals like what is actually going on. He says the person responsible is my sister. I came here to rescue her, to save her from the awful villains who had abducted her months ago, only to discover she's become one of them." And so now they're starting, and then right after that it's interrupted because they see Magma, who is on screen, but we'll get into that in these next couple of pages. But yeah, so all the New Mutants are now grown up here. JR, what do you think of this this crew, the template twins here, and Brian coming
I actually love the template twins and all that. One thing I forgot to mention also is, do you realize that Warlock didn't get affected by anything because he's alien?
Yes. Yep.
I also love the fact, like, they look badass. Like, Magic looks really cool.
Yep.
Danny looks amazing. I do like when they run into naked Brian, because he's naked for no reason. They go, well, he can't be a mutant because he's a kid. They realize his powers are not because he's a mutant.
Okay, right.
But I thought that was kind of cool that they mentioned that, though he is powered down a little bit because of his age and everything.
Yeah. And mentally, he's just so discouraged from being like the brave, fighter that he is.
Yeah, and he's clutching onto the helmet like it's going to save his life.
Yeah.
And then Amira, and I think the only reason Amira is kind of switching back and forth just because she's a different world, like where she comes from, and so she's got a different mindset.
Yeah, I took it that she's still fighting in a sense.
Yeah.
Agreed. John, anything to add there?
I mean, yeah, the costumes look great. The faces continue to be really fantastic. Clearly, all Brian needed was a unitard, and we hooked him up, and now he's comfy. He got that great part of Doug's costume. Doug's like, I'm going to keep the pants. You can have the rest. Yeah, I think this is where the wheels came off for me a little bit. I feel like there's this massive illusion seemingly happening here, but they don't ever explain like the confines of this, because is Psylocke seemingly so powerful that she can create a psychic illusion that covers a significant area if we're talking about all of Xavier's school, and yet also not be able to beat Doug with this? Like, the limitations and the size of this illusion are very confusing to me. If they had just said, Mojo transported them to this sphere where he was, controlling what they could see and interact with, I would kind of get the holodeck aspects of it. But I still can't figure out sometimes where we are. Like, are we in the mansion? Are we in? Like,
no, we're not the mansion.
So like how vast is this illusion? Because like Brian would escape a certain distance. Wouldn't he revert to being Captain Britain again after you got a certain distance away? Like I feel like there's some odd power sets and limitations not being quite explained for me to this, where like Psylocke has the ability to actually like de-age and depower people. Like that never comes into play again. So I feel like this is the stuff you get in annuals. This, as a kid, this is why I didn't like annuals, because it was like, it felt like nothing mattered. Like this, like hey, we'll just do it for this month, and then next month nobody will care who these characters are because we'll never bring any of them back.
Nobody really reads these things anyway,
right?
But yeah, I got the impression early on when Captain Britain showed up, that abandoned school or whatever, that wasn't Xavier's school. That was some random location, and that's where they're at.
Because the rest of them were still in New York. So how did they get here?
Well, they got
maybe Magic used one of her limbo portals.
Maybe
they just never told us.
I kept
waiting for the reveal that like Mojo had like taken them somewhere, and this was his set, his movie set, and he was manipulating things around them. But it never came out.
They did track Bobby.
When they tracked Bobby, that's when it happened, because Ileana teleported them from limbo. Ileana's limbo teleported them back to where they were, where Bobby was being like shown
his life glow, wherever his life glow was.
Cerebro. Yeah. And then that's when they ran into Snitch, and then everything went downhill from there. So they don't
look under his bed.
They all did catch up, like in that way. But I mean, John, I think you're still spot on. It's like it's just
a little fast and loose for me with some of the rules here, and it does make me reread sections and be like, I don't know that I get what's going on.
Totally.
But, hey, visually very exciting. We'll see what happens next.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. All right, so let's keep it going here because we get some more stunning artwork, and you get Magma, who again, as you guys pointed out, she is fighting this, and she for a minute kind of snaps back out, says, "I am no one's slave," and she, almost Phoenix style, lights back up on fire.
Yeah.
And they said, "You cannot defy us, Amara, and be thankful, devils, I do not destroy you." As she says, she tries to rock them. She's like lighting the ground is shaking underneath them.
Yeah.
And as it's all going down, they immediately bring her back into being a child again, which I guess even though her mind is there, because she's there, she's crying in this middle page here. She's trying to tell the rest of the team to wake up, snap out of it. She has her mind, but she lost her powers because she was brought down to being younger, as it kind of explains in this first page here. And then the rest of them are like, Magma, this is what we want. Everybody's like, we're happy. This is like this is what we want to be now. We're all good looking, we're all grown up, we all have our powers, yada yada yada. And so as they're doing that, she goes, "No, I rather die," is what Amara says, and she runs out through the hole in the wall that was created there. And the twins basically try to go after her. As they see that Brian and Doug witness that she's being run down. They're up on the top of the building there, and they agree that they have to split up. So Brian is going to go look after Amara, while Warlock and Doug are going to go after Betsy, and that's kind of the game plan. And as that splits up in this further page here, you see Amara being run down. And this guy, Straight Arrow, his name is, kind of chases her down. She's terrified. But then it gets,
what we needed was another character thrown in.
A character named Straight Arrow.
Yeah, but even this is confusing because then it's like he says, "A glorious destiny awaits in the wild way." She says, "I want no part of it." "You will. Template says you must, and folks know best." And then you just hear the devil. The devil they do. Oh, okay. And then all three of them are getting pushed. That's what it is. So all three get knocked down as Brian, with the last bit of courage that he has, he says, "I'm a knight in borrowed armor, fighting with borrowed courage," because of the kind of the words that Doug had given him, to really still, be brave and just because you're a kid again doesn't mean you can't be a hero. I do think there's some good messaging here for kids. But anyways, So then you see him, kind of coming out of nowhere and saving Amara.
Yay, Brian.
John, anything here? I know you've been commenting on the artwork, I assume. I mean, some of this.
Yes, there's a lot to love here. I love all the Amara pages here, these panels with her, like in full Phoenix mode, like you said, and then like being shredded down to the kid version again. I look at these costumes. Rain, you're doing something up in that upper box. I don't know what's going on, but how did Bobby get stuck as being like tier 2 Luke Cage? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Right.
Yes, like WWF wrestler.
I feel like all he needed was that metal headband to be
yellow
for
sure.
To be the bad Luke Cage. Like, he just ripped. I think Luke Cage is going to show up and ask for his $20 in contract back, because that's not fair. You don't get to steal that. But other than that, there's some really cool. I love the light on Captain Britain's face when he's holding the helmet, realizing I gotta boy up here and go after these bad guys. Really some really great art for sure.
JR, anything to add there?
Well, first off, Straight Arrow, I guess him, Snitch, and the other one, they were all from Fallen Angels, I believe. They were all the frat pack, or
no way,
the brat pack. They're all those kids that grew up.
Another reason not to read that book.
I saw I own the Fallen Angel books, but I didn't know. I never read them.
So that's, and I'm talking about the 80s Fallen Up.
Obviously. The original.
But I swear, it hurts me, and you guys know this is gonna hurt me. The Braddock, when he's holding the helmet, I feel like that Spider-Man quote that everyone knows, "With great power comes great responsibility," is going through his head at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, he has that. And I think, perfect. And I might be wrong, but I think that helmet at that time is his totem. Okay. That is kind of how he gets his power, I think. I could be completely wrong, because I know it's tied to, at different times have been tied to different items. But I love that first page, like that whole page of Amira lighting up like Phoenix. Even at the last one, when she gets depowered and turned into a kid, like that's just so amazing looking. It's like she's being shredded.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I feel like the twins are doing the Van Strucker twins. Like they have to be connected to each other to do their powers.
Yep. Ryan says, "Not my cannonball." Talking about it still has too many shirts on. I agree. All right, well let's keep it going because we do jump over to the other side of things where Doug and Warlock are now sneaking up on Betsy. They're going after Betsy. Betsy is in the chair essentially that she was placed in Mojo's, kind of like Mojo's chair there with the scorpion tail, and she's working at what looks to be these crazy computers, and she looks pretty horrifying. And they sneak up on her, and she turns around for a second and like sees them, but then goes back to what she was doing, and they're like confused. They're like, "Wait, did she see us?Id she not see us? I don't understand." She didn't like go after us. But at this point, Doug's like, "Hey, I need to make this move here. We need to save our friends." And I want to try to pierce into her mind and see what's going on. I know that technically this could go really wrong. But let's, it's our friends. We got to do what we got to do. So he goes in, and immediately gets this wicked, middle page panel, as you see here, the colors and the brightness, and they clearly see that she is being taken over by Mojo, that she is not herself, because at this point they don't really know her motive or who she is really, or they understand that it's Brian's sister, but that's it. So this was a lot of truth and answered a lot of questions for them, at least in the moment. So I thought both these pages, by the way, were gorgeous. Really cool artwork. Then that goes kind of haywire, and he goes flying back. And then you get the flashback or the flash forward to Brian and Amara as they run off, trying to hide now into the city where they are here. And then they again, more of just kind of, hey, we have to do this. We have to step up. A lot of courage and being brave as they know they're being chased down by these monsters, essentially these bad guys. And they do fight for a little bit. He says, "We don't have a choice," or he says, "Have we a choice?" We're getting towards the end here, but JR, what are your thoughts on some of these panels here? It's gorgeous art.
Well, first off, going with the first panel, Psylocke, it just blew me away. Like seeing that, you've never seen, like, because Mojo doesn't have legs, like actual legs, and seeing like her leg kind of going off, and just intricacy of the thing going over her leg and holding her in place.
Yeah. And
then, as someone mentioned, the Manning pedicure, the fingernails grow into extreme lengths. That center panel reminds me of like that old movie Lawnmower Man. Like, you get what I'm talking about?
Totally.
Like, I don't know. It just reminds me of that. And that was probably 15 years before Lawnmower Man even.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got more of them. Huh?
I'm looking up Lawnmower Man right now. I've never seen it.
It's a Stephen King movie, 93, 94 probably?
92.
I wasn't far off.
About 6 years before then. All right.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. But then you have the last panel. At that point, I'm kind of like, I can care less about that story anymore. Let's just stay with Betsy. Like, it's cool. I'm wondering though if this whole story takes place in Britain, because I know for a while, and at least they've made in recent times for sure, his powers only work in Britain, and she was skiing in the Alps. So I'm wondering if maybe that's where they are, somewhere in the UK. But I don't know for sure.
Got it. Yeah, I feel like I have heard that before, and I forgot about that. John, what about you? Any thoughts to add here for these pages?
I mean, visually, just a roller coaster here for sure. And that page in the very center, that panel in the very center is like a poster. It is just wild, and the facial expression so strong. Some great stuff happening here. I'm not fully understanding it. It doesn't mean I'm not going along for the ride and enjoying it. I'm just definitely full of like, how did that work? Why is that? Where? Or to JR's point, like, where are we? Like, I don't get kind of
Yeah.
what's going on here. But yeah, I do love the concept of the visuals here that we're getting, where we're seeing when they tap into Psylocke's mind and tap into Mojo's computer, the impact that has both on Doug and on Warlock, but as well as their understanding of kind of what Psylocke is doing at this point is really kind of cool.
I kind of got the impression this whole issue was obviously introducing Psylocke, but it was really about showing what they can do with the bond of Doug and Warlock together. Because we know later on we get more of that, and even Hickman with other mutants where he combines their powers and stuff. I'm sure Hickman probably stole from that idea to do that stuff.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if that's kind of what this whole book was about.
Could be.
Hey, let's show what can happen if you combine these two together to make more.
Yep. Yeah, even like the most current stuff, or not current. Oh well, current and the
Krakoa stuff.
No, but past that, the future stuff, because Doug plays a big role in all of that, from what I've heard. I haven't read the newest Revelations or whatever it's called.
You're not missing much.
Okay, yeah,
but it's coming back with DNX, I think, in September.
Are they
more blind bags? Everyone, joy.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it going. This was cool. So this is where we get as the team is now, Warlock and Doug are like just waking up from that zap that they had felt from sneaking up on her. But they really break down. I mean, first of all, they highlight, so all the memories, the images, those thoughts, so alien and evil. Betsy is a victim, manipulated like a puppet, probably from the Wild Ways place, being remade in her master's image. Gross. They go on to talk about how, Doug has basically figured it out. He goes, this is basically a software problem. We have to block out the negative input for Wild Ways and restore Betsy's brain natural programming. Programming is a form of communication. And since that's my mutant gift, that looks like it's right up my alley. So this, I just love that it did turn into, as it was very much focused around him and Warlock this whole time. But like, I was just kind of waiting for, when is his power going to really play a role here? Because we did see him in the past be part of saving the world, as he referenced in here, with the New Mutants and being in outer space and everything else, reading the hieroglyphics and all that stuff. So it was cool to kind of see it be relevant here again.
Sure.
And that tying in. So yeah, this is kind of that hero moment. He goes, it's dangerous. He goes, how? He tries to talk him out of it. I do like, where does he say? He goes, self-merge operate as gestalt, but a high probability exists that such a process may infect self-friend Doug with transmode virus. And he's like, there are worse fates. And he goes, humor inappropriate. Just love that they still get these little, mocking these little styles of his thought process. And then you get some really cool pages here, because they do touch kind of an ET moment there, as he goes in, combines himself with Doug Warlock, and you just see him completely taken over. I wish this one little panel here in the center of the close-up of his eye was bigger.
Yeah,
the detail on that. Again, this is where there were moments of the artwork where I just thought like Bill Sienkiewicz stepped in again. Like it was just like, it was very articulate, and the style is just very different than what we've been getting through most of it. But sure enough, he then has access to seeing, this is like Terminator 2 type stuff. Like he just has access to seeing this world in a whole different kind of viewpoint, and is able to go back. And then immediately though is greeted by her, Betsy, because she goes, you desire access to my secret self, boys? And he's like, and he goes, that's easily arranged, and gets grabbed by the tail and pulled in. It says another flash happens, and Doug is down on his knees, and then I guess this is where things really go off the rails here, but they are in the Wild Ways. You can see, a I guess this is Spiral. I don't know if we were supposed to know this is Spiral, but the chick in the black kind of short dress, skimpy dress. And then you see,
I got the sense that it was Betsy, but I don't know.
That's what I thought at first. I think it ends up being Spiral, but I thought
it ends up being Spiral. Okay, yeah, that's right. So you get the carousel story board again here as they are going round and round, and you get some really creepy faces, some creepy smiles. And she's like, "Hey, you're here with all your friends. They come to see you. They come to welcome you. Welcome, welcome." And you have the Wild Ways sign there. And then we're getting right towards the end here. But John, any thoughts here with Doug in this moment with Warlock?
Yeah, I mean, to JR's point earlier, this is definitely a Doug Warlock centered story, and I think they're used beautifully well here in this sequence where you see them basically deciding like it's worth the sacrifice to fix this, whatever this is. And that's what heroes do. So they go all in, and now we're in apparently Dr. Seuss here. We got this crazy Wild Ways art now, and the merry-go-round is going round, and Doug is now with Warlock trying to decipher what's going on here.
Yeah. JR, anything to add there?
First off, again, I'm still thinking Doug's gonna die at the end of this.
Yeah.
And it's
Give it up, JR, damn it.
Every clue is there. But I will say this. You mentioned Terminator 2. I thought of the Matrix when he
I almost said Matrix.
Everything.
I almost said
when
Matrix.
he did that.
Yeah, definitely.
But also just going back to Alan Davis, like this art, you going from the first panel where it's kind of everything looks normal except for Warlock looks a little weird. Then you got this phenomenal second panel where it's all techie and stuff. And then you go to the third panel where you got these plastic smiles and it's cartoony. Just the way he can go from one art style to another art to another style.
Yeah.
Which just shows how dynamic of an artist he is and how underappreciated he is.
Yeah, I definitely want to look up more of his work. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, at the end of the day, I keep bringing up that I feel like it's somebody else, but that I have to just accept that. Yeah, no, he's just doing it all, and he's crushing it. I mean, it is really talented. So no, that's a great point. And those creepy smiles at the end.
Oh man.
So we picking up more with this scene. They get kind of, I guess, cornered here. It's Amara and Brian who are still trying to, they're still on their own, but she goes, "Hey, Doug's like, you didn't get everybody." He's like, "No, we're going to get them soon enough." And they're going to be part of the carousel too, which they end up popping up there. And then she's like, "You can join if you want." And she starts to turn Doug into it, Doug and Warlock together, but he snaps out of it here, kind of rips his face open. Again, this is all really dark stuff. I took this as, and she really does try to play into his emotions because she's like, "Hey, like, it's what you want, right? A chance to truly play the hero instead of the New Mutants' weakest link." Like that was pretty rough to hear. And he goes, "You're right, witch." He's like, "But there are other things that matter more." And he just rips, the kind of fake mask off of him. He says, "You have no hold on me now or ever." She's like, "A pity such courage would have done the Brat Pack proud." And she's like, "You could consider the alternative. Your spirit is free." She's like, "You could be as you are now." She's like, still trying to spin it. Like, "Yeah, you ripped out of this form of yours, but you could still be this." And he basically turns her down, and he goes after her. Again, thinking one thing, but it ends up, as you guys said, it ends up being Spiral as she re-shows her 6 arms again.
Because I think she's trying to appear to be Betsy at this point, and he even says, like, "If you're a manifestation of Miss Braddock, you're done for." And I think that's when the purple hair goes away and the reappearance.
That's one of her powers too, is she can like make mirages of herself. I want to say,
she I feel like she could do so much. So she's doing the dance now at this point, and now the carousel's spinning super fast. She's using all her powers. She talks about it being the chaos waltz. And then she says, basically for any moment, she basically explains her whole plan, that it's all going to come crumbling down. We created the Wild Ways, but it is, then she reveals how she basically is going to take Mojo's, his world and make it hers. She says, Mojo rots flesh, Spiral rots thoughts and self and spirit. He created the Wild Ways, but it is only Spiral's rightful place to dance upon it. So that was a bit of this, and if you guys don't mind, I'm going to jump right in this next bit because I've kind of done like 3 pages at a time here, but it's all kind of one glimpse. So as you see the team or the Warlock is reading this as like, okay, we have to spread out here. Again, this is where I got a little confused with just like this world that they're in, this wild ways that they're in, and what's real and what's not. And they're trying to save whatever they can left. It says this land looks solid, but that's merely how self perceives it. It's really energy patterns of force. Before chaos, there was order, a natural structure that can be reborn. So now he's trying to spread himself pretty much thin as he kind of leaves Doug there for a second and casts this net. This describes it as a giant net, completely enclosing Spiral's carousel. And then now the carousel is whipping faster and faster. He's trying to hold Doug down while Doug is now reaching into the carousel, pulling people out, couple at a time. And you can see Brian, you see, who did he pull out first? Or did it say? Did I see that?
He pulled Brian out first.
I did pull Brian. Okay, so Brian comes right out first, and he's a little confused for a second because Brian's like fully, big again, all grown up, and then Spiral is realizing it's not looking good for her. You get this really creepy close up of her, which I loved. But she's realizing this is not good because all her energy is just put into this carousel at this point. And meanwhile, he starts pulling everybody out. Then you see Danny coming out. You see some of the kids coming out. As he's talking, Danny's he goes, "Self has you, Chief Self friend Danny Mirage." Which, by the way, John, I know we had talked about the whole Chief thing from prior, but I'm like, really, you got to throw Chief in there again? It's still in there, even as this combined language. But I do like that Danny's like safe and sound present. She goes, "Doug, but your voice, why are you talking like Warlock?" So you do get to see the team is witnessing this now kind of for the first time, where they're like, holy crap, these guys are together. And then they finally pull everybody out. You kind of get this cool scene of them on this far side of the family together, or the group of them together, and she still is like fighting. She's like, this is not this is not the end. She goes, as she's trying to keep this going, and again, I'm just gonna show this last because I just put this all in one thing. This is, I feel like it's on one file swoop. I can go back to this as I throw it back your way, but we end up seeing the real Betsy, or at least her spirit self kind of come through, and then it spoils all Spiral's plans, essentially. And even this, Spiral is still trying to like trick and convince even Betsy. She goes, she basically says, she goes, think a moment, Psylocke, before you do something rash that all will regret. Consider the price of vengeance and freedom. A slave knows her place. A slave has no worries because she has a value, and a good master cares for his property. So she's like trying to sell this, and basically they're shouting, "Don't believe this. Don't fall for it." She goes, "No, you choose. You let them choose." And I just love this middle panel with this scene. And she like basically says, "I have been hungry, Spiral, and homeless, hunted, hurt in body and spirit. All those things I swore I would never be again. You offer salvation. I prefer to make my own," and just completely obliterates Spiral. And she's still shouting as she like disappears, but says, "You're a fool, Psylocke, no less than you." But for better,
I hear, and that moment when Spiral says, "You are a fool, Psylocke," I imagine it in like a really high, squeaky voice, like she is shrunk down to the size of an ant.
Oh,
yeah.
You're a fool, Psylocke. Yeah.
That's
great.
That's what I heard in my head.
Oh, I love that. And then it is done. Betsy's now fully back into control. She's like, "I don't really know what to do with all of you, so I'm going to put you back where you all kind of belong." And then you get some awkward moments here as this whole battle scene ends, going into this panel here of what looks, it's Betsy landing on top of Doug. And I mean, even in the dark, you can see there's definitely no shirts and all that going on. But she realizes that she has eyes. She introduces herself to Doug. She basically really truly gravitates towards Doug and says, like, "Thank you for everything that you did, because without what Doug and Warlock did, like that they wouldn't have got out of it." She does have this emotional moment about her eyes. She says, "I can see. It's a gift from Lord Mojo to his favorite slave." But she really doesn't want them. She wants to rip them out, but she struggles and she can't. So that's kind of where that particular part of the moment ends. We'll get into the last slide here in a sec, but I know I just covered a lot of action here in the end for this kind of movie scenery. So JR, I'm gonna throw it to you, and I can go back to anything you want, but what did you think of this kind of end action scene?
So first off, I think this whole thing takes place in the mindscape. Like it's a prelude to like we're in Betsy's head. It's a prelude to the psychics, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was interesting, especially to see that Mojo, if you realize Mojo kind of disappeared like halfway through this book.
Yeah.
It really became the Spiral book after a while.
Yep.
I like the fact that Spiral was doing all this, and like the Doug thing where he's going like this and ripping it. I'm trying to think what movie that reminds me of, but I mean, there's like almost like she's obviously pulling his skin off, or I can
picture off. Yeah,
but yeah, like, there's some movie I'm thinking of where like they're doing that, but that I thought that was all great. I thought it was interesting to see like when he finally gets Brian off the carousel, and at first, if you go back to that slide, it looks like at first it looks like a kid's hand because it's lower.
Oh yeah, coming out,
and then he's bigger. Like as he's got him, he grows up.
That's a good point.
So I do want to know, where's the leotard? Like all of a sudden he's back in his costume.
It's very uncomfortably tucked in underneath the other suit, so it's because he grew, but the costume didn't. So he is really riding up. I want to
see the costume to be like rags, like
like a
blew
Hulk.
up. Yeah, like it just all came like a skirt type of thing.
I mean, Doug is right there going, dude, I gave you my where the hell's my costume? You just
yeah.
Well, do remember they are all, I believe those costumes were still unstable, whatever they were called. They're costume unstable molecules. So maybe. But going to the last panel on the next one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Doug's reaction at first. Sorry, ladies, but if I've got a beautiful naked woman of age and I'm a teenage boy and she's laying in my lap, this conversation is a whole different story.
It's
not trying to be crude.
It's pitch black. They're in the dark. They can't see each other.
Doug, he can feel, but Doug,
where she is,
Doug is trying to be all the green flags at once.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think don't take advantage.
I mean, he definitely came of age in several different ways in this book.
Oh yes. Yep.
That should be on the.
He's learning the language of love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doug grew up.
But I do like the fact of her talking about her eyes, and she's upset about those eyes.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously it's foreshadowing for stuff down the road. But yeah, it's interesting to see that. But the art again, I mean, look at Psylocke looking like a goddess in that first panel. I mean, that's just amazing. The panel where the three in the middle where she's blowing, I don't know what the hell she's blowing up there. It looks like
it's almost like the entire illusion or something.
Yeah, the illusion. Yeah, just look at it as a big explosion to the carousel. Yeah,
for sure.
I thought that was so cool, and it lays over other panels. That explosion kind of breaks those panel walls, which I always find interesting. John, what are your thoughts here? I know there's a lot here.
Oh, it's stellar. We'll go back through them all again, just one more time because the visuals are just so strong. I really do love the evolution of Psylocke. Now she's almost like dark Psylocke here for a little bit because it's Spiral, and you can see all the poses are Spiral, all the dance moves that she does. Like it's very much like coded to let us know like that's not Betsy, like she's not behaving like she normally would, right?
It's almost like a Madeline Pryor.
Yes, 100%.
I thought Celine with the black dress.
Also, fair. And then the next page, that crazy like grid up here. Yeah. This is very Lawnmower Man-ish. Like this is wild design here that I think is just so freaking cool.
Yep.
Yet again, another really psychedelic page that doesn't follow any of the rules. It juts into the other panels in a fun kind of way. So really enjoying that. And then like I'm so glad JR pointed out the growing hand of Brian as he becomes himself again. Really, really well done. And then the last page that you're sharing here is my favorite. And you've got facial expressions that are so strong from the Spiral crazy face here to Doug and Betsy on the far side, and then all of these just really abstract pieces that are happening here to help us understand, at least in some way, what Betsy's powers are enabling her to perceive in this sequence here, whether it's that giant floating smiling face down in the bottom middle there, or just these almost goddess like styled pieces where she's feeling all the power but yet feeling powerless at the same time. It's a really interesting dynamic that she's going through. So yeah, great stuff. And then Doug learning some love lessons there at the end, and yet keeping it under control. Maybe Warlock is still connected to him, going like, nope, don't do it. This is what you say. This is what you say.
Well said on both accounts. A couple things here. I wanted to say hello to Wandering Seth in the chat. What's going on, Seth? Says, I swear Doug has the strangest journey of any character relatively to how much of a runt he started off as. Yeah, I'm more and more intrigued with both Doug and Warlock for sure, and even just their relationship and how they kind of grown together. Doug just being a kid and Warlock being so young to the world compared to where he's from, which is really interesting.
What's the phrase that comes to mind? The meek shall inherit the world.
Yeah.
Yep. He's very much that.
Yep, absolutely. Agreed. Wicked Witch style for sure. So just scrolling through a couple things. Yeah, Naked Lunch. There you go.
That's a crazy, wild psychedelic movie, Naked Lunch. If you haven't seen it.
Is that what he's talking? Reed Richards' fortune comes from his unstable molecules. Wandering says Doug was such an archetypal innocent. A moment of silence, please. Yeah. From Melbourne. Awesome, man. So, and then, let's get to this last page because we are at the end of it here. This is,
here we go.
Yeah. So afterwards, they kind of turn the lights on. Danny finds them kind of curled up there, and wondering what, everyone's kind of questioning, hey, where'd you guys go? You sly, sneaky devil, Danny says. What are you talking about? He goes, oh my gosh. And they realize they're both naked. She's standing there. And then immediately Warlock.
She's naked.
Well, he's got it. Yeah, just shirt off. But Warlock comes up and immediately, covers her and puts on actually a full clothing for her. So nice job there, Warlock.
So Warlock is the one that really came out on top here. He's like, I can wrap you up. I can wrap you up. I will cover you completely.
Everyone else thought this was appropriate. So
they even pointed out to him like, hey, watch what you're doing there, Warlock. Like, don't do anything inappropriate.
Yes, right? They did. And it's so funny because Warlock truly is like so innocent, so he's
not aware. No,
like, what do you mean? Yeah. He's not trying to make any moves. Lucky Warlock. Yeah, Bobby. Did you say stir the spaghetti sauce? Then of course you get the kind of the Brian and Betsy back together, giving big hugs. Brian giving a big hug to Doug as well, saying thank you for everything he did. And then you kind of get a flash forward here. Doesn't really, just says later. They're back at the mansion and kind of brother sister talking here, catching up. And basically Betsy's like, hey, listen, I think this is good for me. Telling to Brian, says, I'm going to stay with the Xavier School, see what I can learn about my psi powers and abilities. And he's cool with it. He goes, yeah, like I totally understand. If you need anything, just let me know. And he basically flies off. She waves, notices Doug in the window. Doug is beet red as he's like smirking and smiling, waving. He's blushing. Creeping. He knows he's blushing. Yeah, creeping. And he turns around to see Danny, who's standing in the doorway there, and just kind of checking in on him. And they basically at the end here have this heart to heart and it kind of from where it all stemmed from the very beginning about being a hero and so on and so forth. Doug was very frustrated with, not being able to tell people and live this other kind of hidden life and trying to fit in and all these other things. So now as it kind of closes out, he realizes like, hey, like if we didn't do anything, those kids would have been dead. They would have been long gone. Mojo was so easily able to get all the people that he did. Like, it's kind of scary to think that, kids need protection. They need somebody that's going to be out there. And that's us is what he's realizing. And that's what
I thought you were trying to imply that the New Mutants could use a mature leader caring for them and giving them advice and not running off to bang his alien girlfriend or going through a mental breakdown and running off with the every redhead that he runs across. Instead, nobody's taking care of these kids. Who's watching these kids?
Yeah,
nobody's watching these kids.
Danny's just needs a hot girlfriend. That's all.
Yeah,
that's ultimately what Betsy is saying at this point. Is she's like, Brian, nobody is watching these kids. I have to stay here. I'm the oldest one.
She's like, legally
here. This is, I can't. Yeah, I'm going to get in some serious trouble if I just abandon these kids.
That's a great point, John. You're not wrong. But I do like the little heart to heart that they have here, and says, sometimes these jobs are the worst, Douglas, and lots of worse people to do in them. But the New Mutants are as tough as we are talented, and who knows, we might just pull it off. It's hard to be a hero, but occasionally well worth the price as it ends here. And everybody else is getting ready to go out and play some baseball and go to the gym and all that other fun kind of non-superhero-y stuff at the end. So very lighthearted, nice little message at the end. I thought it did button up rather well. So any thoughts on these last couple pages before we do our final thoughts? John, I'll start with you.
I mean, it does wrap up nicely. It doesn't feel, some of these annuals with Claremont, it can be feeling like there's a real rushed ending where they're just kind of slapping the finale onto it. And it does feel like this ending is earned. And I feel like the second half of the book is far stronger than the first half for me.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying kind of the way this wraps up. Doug is kind of like, I can tell he's kind of like, thanks, Brian, but I really wanted a hug from your sister at the end here. I don't know what's going on with this. You don't need to hug me that hard.
We'll play in the dark again.
Right. But yeah, this is a great Doug story to see him be able to be like the maturest one ultimately of the New Mutants. He's the one that's like, able to kind of like speak to the journey that he's on and that they're all on and be able to kind of be like, look, I'm staying here because this has got the hottest girls and no supervision. I am in. Like, let's sign me up.
Yep. Well said. Ryan says, Lalandra hair, don't care. Yeah. And Bobby says, don't you be looking at me with those mojo eyes.
Behind those mojo eyes. Yeah.
JR, any what are your thoughts on these like last few pages before we get more overall?
I do like the wrap up of it. It did feel kind of like the end of G.I. Joe where it goes like, and knowing half the battle type of thing. Yeah. Like here's your moral. I do want to point out it was in the panel where they're all going to play baseball and stuff and they're talking. That's when they make the comment about is her hair her part of her mutant power.
Oh, yes.
In that panel.
Yes, you're right.
But
very natural. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. So, and I don't think they ever explored I don't remember Betsy and Doug having a relationship because she's obviously over 18. He's under 18.
Right.
I don't think they ever did it. But it's just weird that they kind of made it feel like that dynamic here.
That's Colossus,
Huh?
I said that never stopped Colossus.
Yeah, well, Kitty also had Wolverine to protect her.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I thought it was a good way to wrap it up. Overall, it was not a bad annual. But I want to say the panel where she's naked, the placement of he's got the one hand going like this, like I can't see, but his other hand is clear, like right here on her thigh. I'm like, really, you could have put, and then you got Warlock perving on the bottom, like looking up, like, ooh, what's that?
Well, and Doug even asks him like, Warlock, where have you been? And the laundry list of an answer that Warlock gives, where Warlock's like, present, restoring physical cohesion, executing diagnostic program to determine self-status. Like, it's this like, I wasn't just perving and staring and watching this whole time. No.
I'm sure he is working on cohesion.
I swear I was doing something.
Yeah. Details. All right. Well, this is the end of the issue. Let's give our grades and final thoughts on the entire thing here. Usually do kind of a CGC scale, but John, I'll start with you. Where does this fall for you, and any final thoughts?
It's a mix of highs and lows. The art is what really elevates this book for me. I think I'm going to give it a solid 8. I really do feel like there was some real fun here, and the artwork is really stellar. I think any other artist, this would have been far lower score for me. But my joy for Doug, Warlock, and Psylocke was enough to really elevate this, even though I would have preferred a little more mojo and a little more explanation of kind of what it was he was attempting to do here and kind of crafting. I think I would have appreciated it more. But yeah, shout out to Alan Davis for really crushing it. And yes, I think he did something like almost 40 issues of Excalibur. So
yeah,
people looking for more work from him might want to dive into that volume 1 Excalibur.
I
already started volume 2 of Excalibur.
I already started buying some, just so you know.
And it's amazing stuff. That was Claremont and Alan Davis doing a lot of that early Excalibur.
Don't tell Justin that. We're going to have to add an Excalibur season to the show.
Yeah, extend the contract, John. Extend the contract going into 2035 now.
All I have to say is I claim episode 1 on that one.
Yeah, there you go.
DJR is down there without him contractually obligated now too. All right. Seth says they could do Big Brother X-Mansion. I would be down for that. I enjoy some Big Brother. JR, final thoughts and how would you grade this?
Overall, I enjoyed it. I mean, once I got over the fact that Doug didn't die at the end, I thought it was a good book. It was a weird first appearance for Betsy. Yeah. I thought just in general, because you really didn't get it understand, especially since I was thinking the Asian one, not the British one.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not really a first appearance. I probably, for an annual, I'm going to put it at probably like a 9, because annuals usually suck badly, but this really should have been like a 3-issue miniseries to really flesh out the story.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would be down for that if they made it more of a 3-issue with more detail that way. Because you're right. I mean, you highlighted a few scenes where it would have been nice to have a little more detail of what happened or where it went. You know, certain conversations, things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, hey, a 9's great. Yeah, I mean, and I will say, I be on this show for those who've been following. Like, I've loved every annual, every king size annual we've done, every like large extended issue that we've had. There might have been maybe one that was like a letdown, but everything else, starting back to Uncanny X-Men 3 with Archon and his lightning bolts, all the way to now, I've just been enjoying the hell out of all these. So this is up there for me. I the artwork for sure. I mean, I loved the artwork so much through and through. I love the dark vibes that I got through this. There were definitely, and again, maybe that a lot of that goes to Mojo and Spiral and their whole who they are, and I need to read more of that stuff. But I just love the kind of horror vibes that I get from that, the dark thriller kind of chase through some of this stuff. So that was all cool. I like that they brought a lot of the different characters in as well. Like we got to see Jan's twin brothers. They got transformed into Template, a whole new set of characters, all the kids that became adults and how they all looked and their designs. So I thought that was all cool. And I mean, I agree. There were definitely some moments that were a little hard to track at first, but I think we've run into that enough where it certainly has not affected my grade in the long run of things. So, John, you gave it an 8, JR gave it a 9. I'm going to go 9.4 with this. And I feel pretty good about that, as Bobby has given it the 9.8 Snitch white pages. So nice job there, Bobby.
Key first appearance of Snitch. That's why this book is so expensive.
Yes, there it is. And we will get into the numbers here in just a moment. So let's one quick thing we do now, JR, something new we added to the season is we do well, actually not yet. Let's do the numbers first, then I'll get into the new part that I was just about to talk about. Key elements, no jokes here, but first in origin of Betsy Braddock, as JR pointed out, technically not her first, as it was in that other issue that he mentioned in the beginning. And then first Megan is what I had found listed here. I don't know if there's anything you guys know about that. I don't know much about Megan. I know that she's part of the series you guys are Excalibur. But yeah, I never really read too much with her.
She's a great character. I think she was in the TV scene. She was watching TV with them.
She was, yeah. That's where the first Megan was, yeah.
Got it.
But just curious if you guys.
I was thinking back. I'm like, I don't remember her being in there, but I do remember that being on the slabs. They don't mention Snitch. I don't know what the heck's up with that on the slab.
Or Template. No Template either.
There is a weird down the road, if you read Excalibur, there's a weird triangle between Megan, Britain, and Kurt, Nightcrawler.
Oh, Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
First
I mean,
time Doug sees a naked woman.
that actually should be
in his lap.
on the
First time Doug gets a lap dance.
Hey,
on the,
take it where you can get it,
the-
Doug. I get it.
Yep.
the
This is a
pricing.
book- I feel
Okay,
like this is
yeah.
a book that's always been very expensive, and it may just be owing to the point that JR was making earlier, which is that those early appearances are in books that were only really sold in England. So you find those books; they all have the pence price. They were never sold in the U.S. So those early Captain Britain comics, which is why his first appearance in American comics is that team up comic that's somewhat expensive, because those other books never made it across the water unless you had someone bringing them over. So I think this book is an oddity as far as the price. Just it's always, which is why it was a book that I just was always dragging my feet on, besides being such a grouch about annuals like I always am. I was just like, I don't need it. It's too expensive. And then I snagged it at a decent price. But it continues to be. I mean, look at that price. It's a beast.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think I bought it in the 90s for like $10.
Damn you.
Oh yeah,
JR.
I mean,
come on.
I definitely got. I'm pretty sure my raw copy was $10. I don't think I paid much more than that for a raw copy. I mean, a 9.8. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't
Paid
anything
more than that.
There really wasn't slab stuff in the early 90s.
Right.
Well,
Right,
sure.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, hey, and one thing we like to always point out, there is a significant jump from a 9.6 to a 9.8. We haven't had that in a little while. We haven't really had a key in a while, but just something to note if anybody's interested or looking into that kind of stuff. But over three times is usually a big deal.
If I'm correct on this is one of those square bound ones. That's why.
Oh, so it's harder to. Yeah,
so it's hard because remember this is like technically
a
like a 64-page book.
Yeah.
So it's got that square bound, so it's a lot harder to find in mint condition.
Yeah. Mine's definitely a mid-grade copy, I think.
Yeah.
Mine's a 9 something, but I mean I have to pull it out and figure it out.
All my books are 9.8s, in case anybody was wondering.
Yes,
Steph says, are there any chances, any characters in the X-Men comics who haven't been in a love triangle? That's a good point. No. Which brings it all back to the Big Brother question.
They're all sleeping together. Yeah,
I'm with you. All right. Last segment here. I know we're coming up on 2 hours here. But we usually do an MVP of the week. I didn't get to do screenshots here for this, but any one character that you guys felt was like just the true MVP of the issue. You could be serious about it.
I think we have to agree it's Doug, right?
I mean, I was going to let JR pick someone different because I know he's a Doug hater. I'll pick Doug because this is definitely Doug's book and it's all about
Psylocke. I mean, it was Cyclops. It was Cyclops.
Cyclops. Very important.
Because he wasn't
Cyclops.
The week
No. I'm sorry. It was Dazzler or Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Jubadazzler. Yes. But yeah, obviously it's definitely Doug. I mean, it's a big issue for him and his character growth.
Yeah, I would say I could argue. I feel like I could argue Warlock as well for sure.
Or as he eventually becomes Douglock.
Yeah, Doug. Yeah, I saw that dropped in there already once. All right, so all right, so that's that. We are getting into the questions here. So as you guys know, we're going to ask 4 questions. These are trivia questions based on last episode. In this case, we broke down the 6-issue miniseries of Longshot on John's channel 2 weeks ago. So if you guys had caught that,
sorry about that. Apologies all around.
We're looking for 2 correct answers and 1 incorrect answer. So if you don't know the answer, you can just put something funny and outrageous and try to make JR laugh the hardest, because JR is going to choose which incorrect answer is his favorite. So play to your audience. If you know JR, you know what he's into, play jokes in that direction. Yes. But otherwise, try to take a good guess. If you think someone else is correct, copy and paste, because we're looking for 2 correct answers. So, John, I will throw it to you first as far as the questions go.
It's too bad that Tony fell asleep early tonight, because this first question is for Tony. He was the only image he wanted me to share in the slideshow from the Longshot miniseries was the one involving Longshot's pouch and all the crap that he apparently had been collecting when he came to our world. Name 2 items in Longshot's pouch. They have this almost like splash page of like all of the crap that Longshot had been holding in his little pouch. Name any 2 things that were in the pouch. And I sent Justin like an epic list of, because I was pinching and zooming. I'm like, okay, there's some of this, there's some of that. There's a lot of crap.
I'm just curious, did Liefeld draw that issue?
No, he did not. Thankfully, it was not so bad.
Roy Kirk, thanks for dropping the line. Bobby says, "Laugh, JR, laugh." And he picked Warlock as his MVP. So there you go.
All right. Any 2 different things though, Bobby? You Bobby's giving me an entire list here. Actually, I realize Bobby's giving me all these answers. But anybody else, tell me what Longshot carries around in his pouch. Whatever you think he should be carrying.
I had to like go through to make sure I'm picking if I highlight things that are serious answers versus not.
Definitely an ending to the series was not in there. I'll just say yes, that they Magic Lasso and Bobby get points for correct answers. Because there are buttons, there are bus tokens. There is a Micronatag figure, which I called it a Transformer figure. There is a broken doll. There's a Gumby toy. There are dice. There's a golf ball, a hammer, a glue bottle, a screwdriver, one of those little wooden letter cubes that kids play with that has like alphabet letters on the sides, a Donald Duck toy, a book, a Sharpie, a chapstick, an X-Acto knife. It is an insane little pastiche.
You could have said anything.
Bag of holding.
I mean, it is a bag. That was Tony's joke. It was like, the bag is tiny. He's got one little bag and then it fits all this crap in it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, let's see if we can make some people laugh.
So Ryan says Diana Ross records for sure. Bobby went there.
Unused and used.
We got to be correct though. It's Longshot. He doesn't need to worry about that because having kids is a long shot for him.
Oh,
let's see. Adam says a backup set of Cyclops masks.
Somebody needs to carry it for him.
Wandering Set says a THC vape and breath mints.
There you go.
Good combo there.
Just the important stuff.
A guitar pick from the Grateful Dead.
I want to say I did see a guitar pick as an item on there, but I couldn't quite tell for certain that's what it was.
This is some pictures of Jean and Cyclops. Roy Kirk says a little envelope marked
he corrects it down below. In case I meet Betsy Braddock.
Oh, in case I meet Betsy Braddock. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Candace says everything but the kitchen sink.
And she said a slab and a short box.
Oh yeah. Like that.
A sandwich and a frail. Those Magic Glass. Those are good options, gang.
Yeah, some good options coming through here.
I have to go with some pictures of Jean Grey and Cyclops.
All right, yeah, that's
fair.
Bobby.
That was a pretty good one.
Bobby getting double points on that question.
All right. My first question is, why do the women in the window not talk to Longshot? In that first issue, he was very upset and offended and confused as to why these women that were in the window, they would not talk to him.
I don't know the real answer, but I would say because he won't pay.
Fair.
Let's see. Here's the line. It says that if we're really going to go there, a bottle of poppers and mystery.
Not so mysterious. Matt says because they read the miniseries too.
Yeah. Yep.
Fair. I think you got two correct answers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So yes, because they were mannequins. They were not real. They were mannequins. So Candace and Bobby,
there it is,
are correct.
I wonder if that inspired that movie Mannequin back in the 80s.
Ooh. Ryan says because Doug didn't die in the New Mutants Annual tonight.
It was a little early. He does die eventually.
He's just waiting for that. He's waiting for it.
Yeah.
With Bird Brain, I think, too.
Now you're just making names up.
No, that's unfortunately that's a real character.
I'm just kidding. Let's see. Yeah. So far, comedy's a little light on this one. I'll say the question one more time. Why do the women in the window not talk to Longshot? Any funny answers? Give you another few seconds here.
I'm going to drop the reminder in the chat. We're off next week. We're back the week after, and we'll be reading X Factor 1 through 8 and the first annual. We'll throw in a few other things like the Cocoon issues from Avengers and FF, some tie-in stuff, but the main issues are going to be the ones I listed there, though. X Factor 1 through 8 and their first annual.
Ryan says, didn't Bird Brain run for president?
I think you're thinking of Beak.
Oh, yeah.
Two different people. Sorry, I've read X-Men for 35 plus years.
Yeah. I think Bird Brain didn't win the Iowa caucus, so he didn't get a chance to run.
Has anyone studied Doug Ramsey as the Messiah motif, dying and coming back how many times, and now look how powerful he is?
Well, he lived long enough to become the villain more recently.
Yeah.
He's a damn good villain too.
All right. Anything there that you want to choose as or to give a point to?
I like the New Mutants joke that Magic Lasso put in there.
There it is.
This one here?
Because
Doug
didn't die.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Nice.
All
right, John.
I'll take the stabs.
Okay. At the end of the Longshot miniseries, somebody comes to help Longshot. Somebody comes to his rescue. Who is it that comes to rescue Longshot or help him at the very end? I'm looking for one specific answer because they're a more interesting character, but they're technically maybe more than one person, but I'm looking for one specific name. And Matt and Ryan have got it right off the bat. Look at that.
Bam.
It's Doctor Strange himself. Yes.
Bobby says Jesus.
I don't know if he's cursing or taking a stab at it, but I'll take it.
Or he's saying Jesus. Could be.
Jesus, yeah.
Few seconds here for some funny options.
Old Wolf had to help so he could get out of there.
Yep.
Shots fired.
Dazzler with comp tickets.
Ooh. That's the real gift. The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Marvel saved him by ending the series.
Let's see. No one. He doesn't deserve it after that miniseries.
I got to go back and read that series. I don't remember it being that bad.
It wasn't that bad, Jared.
I gave it a 2.5.
I gave it a solid 7.
And I felt like I was being nice.
But you like Lemire as a writer, so
I really do. I really do.
Yeah.
Shots fired. I know.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Bobby says. Ryan says not Joel the Geek. That's a good answer. He unfortunately
did not make it. Yeah. Or Joel.
It is that bad. JR, anything here for a funny answer?
I kind of like. I mean, Empress Comics and Candace kind of had the same answer. So probably Empress since he was first, I guess.
Marvel saved him.
Yep.
Yeah, because Candace has one right under it that. No,
I'll give it to both of them because we're nearing the end of the season and I want to give out as many points as possible. So everybody gets points.
The Oprah of comics, John.
Yeah.
Last question for the night. Who did I? Now you had to have been watching this episode on John's channel in order to know this one. Who did I think Longshot was at first? I was very open about this, very straightforward, because I was very confused and trying to read the room and trying to guess ahead of time based on
like JR thought Doug was dead this issue.
Yes. Yeah. Who did I think that Longshot was at first?
Ellen.
Oh,
two people said Ellen. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's right.
All right, I see the correct answer. Yes, I thought he was Cable. I thought it was Cable. There was a redhead involved. There was a her boyfriend was named Scotty, or the baby whose name was Scotty. I was like, all right, this is clearly Cable. So I'm going with Candace and Matt. Empress Comics were the first two I see there for the correct ones. So Johnny Boy marked them down.
Yes, I did.
And then we're just waiting for a few funny answers.
I was gonna say for a while there, they thought he was going to be one of the Summers brothers, like the missing Summers brother.
Oh, see, so I wouldn't have been too far off.
Not far off. Everybody's got to be a Summers apparently
at some point. Yeah. Scotty doesn't know. Ryan says
it's kind of like everybody's a Skywalker in Star Wars.
Candace says Justin is still waiting for Cable to show up. Yeah, no, he was there. I saw him. Candace, he was there. He had his eye, the glowy eye.
Well,
spoiler, Justin, he'll show up in X Factor.
Okay. Yeah. I knew it was soon. It was coming soon.
But Cable usually gives you a 4-hour windows to show up. So
anything there, JR? I don't know, we got a couple.
Scotty doesn't know.
Ellen, Scotty doesn't know.
I mean, they're both Magic Lasso, and the Scotty doesn't know.
True.
And Ellen, I mean, both those were pretty good answers.
All right.
We'll give it to Ryan there. Nice job,
right,
my friend.
Ryan. Back for more.
All right, gang. We broke the 210 mark. I was pretty good all season, but yeah,
wheels are coming off. Wheels are coming off.
This was a doozy. Yeah.
This is why I only come on every 2 years.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I run the show. Every one of the shows I'm on, it's over 2 hours.
No, dude, but you don't believe me. We have some people who try to break the record here, so you're great, JR. We love you and we appreciate you.
Yeah, we hate those other guys.
Join us. Yeah. I know Sob is watching right now. He's like, I'm going after the record.
He is always.
But
he's got a real shot this year because he's doing another double-sized annual over on your channel.
On my channel. I'll be cutting out pages on that one. I want to thank you, JR, for joining us. We really do appreciate you always hanging and coming through for us. Certainly we'd love to have you back, as you know that. And if for those who aren't following you or haven't connected with you before, if you guys don't, make sure you follow JR. Put his information in the description below. So thanks for joining us here.
No problem. Thanks for having me once again.
Always.
It's always fun to cause havoc over here, I guess. It's the best way to put it.
Yep.
I'll be the third Summers brother there, right? Or a second Summers brother?
Yeah. Also shout out to the chat. Thanks for everybody who's joining us and hanging out late with us here. We appreciate that. Again, we will be off this upcoming Tuesday, but then back over on John's channel, as he just shared there in the chat again. So make sure you're subbed up to John if you're not already, which I think everybody here is. But be ready. We'll share some stuff on Instagram, reminding everybody. John, when you get a chance, or one of us actually, I could do it too. Just share our homework of what everybody might.
I'll put it in my story again. I did it 2 weeks ago for Candace, and I'll do it again tonight or whatever.
Yep.
Because everybody's going to spend their Memorial weekend reading X Factor.
Load up, baby. Load up. It's the time to do it right now. Otherwise, appreciate everybody hanging. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bobby.
I saw Bobby's comment too.
You guys do what is it?
You guys take more weeks off than Congress.
Yeah. Sorry, Bobby. All right, gang. Everybody have a great night. Smash that like button on the way out. Until next time, we will talk to you